Before modern medicine, there was madness. In the shadowy corners of medieval Europe, healers, monks, and madmen alike turned to some truly extreme substances, potions brewed with poison, powders made from corpses, and elixirs that could kill as easily as they could heal. Forget your modern pills and potions. These were the original hard drugs. From psychoactive to downright deadly, here are 10 of the most mind-blowing, spine-chilling, and dangerous drugs people actually used in the Middle Ages. You won't believe what passed for medicine back then. Let's dive into the dark side of medieval pharmacology. 1. Mandre Root, the screaming hallucinogen. In medieval lore, the mandrake was more than a plant. It was a legend. Believed to scream when uprooted, killing anyone who heard it, the mandrake root was soaked in superstition. Apothecaries prized it for its powerful hallucinogenic and anesthetic properties. Users claimed visions, delirium, and even contact with spirits. Some believed it granted fertility or unbreakable love, but it was also deadly in large doses, causing paralysis, madness, or death. Harvesting it often involved tying the root to a dog and letting the poor beast do the dirty work. Yes, this drug literally had a body count. 2. Henbane, the witch's high. Henbane was the medieval gateway to visions, madness, and supposed witchcraft. A nightshade relative, this toxic herb was brewed into potions, smoked, or used in ointments. Often applied directly to the skin, or, legend says, via broomsticks for a faster ride. The effects: intense hallucinations, delirium, and a sense of flying, fueling myths of witches soaring through the night. But the line between high and fatal dose was razor thin. Many who used it for pain relief or ritual trances never woke up. In the wrong hands, henbane wasn't just a drug, it was a weapon. 3. Opium, the nobleman's numbness. Imported from the East, opium was medieval Europe's most powerful painkiller. Crushed into powders or blended into syrups like laudanum, it soothed everything from battle wounds to sleepless nights. Nobles, monks, and physicians used it liberally, but its effects were dangerously addictive. A small dose brought calm. Too much could stop your heart. With no understanding of dosage or dependence, users often slipped from relief into ruin. Some even mixed it with wine, creating intoxicating and deadly concoctions. In a world without anesthesia, opium was both salvation and silent executioner, numbing pain while quietly tightening its grip. 4. Fly agaric, the toxic mushroom of visions, bright red with white spots. The fly agaric mushroom looks like something out of a fairy tale, but in medieval times it was a doorway to another world. Used by shamans and mystics, this mushroom caused vivid hallucinations, altered perception of time, and feelings of euphoria or terror. Some believed it allowed communication with spirits or divine insight, but the price was high: nausea, muscle spasms, and even coma. Misusing it could be lethal. Despite the risk, seekers of prophecy and power turned to fly agaric, trading physical comfort for a mind-bending, sometimes deadly glimpse beyond the veil. 5. Belelladana, the beautiful killer. Known as deadly nightshade, belladonna was as enchanting as it was lethal. Medieval women used it cosmetically. Just a drop in the eyes made pupils dilate, giving a dreamy, seductive look. But beneath its beauty lay poison. Healers used belladonna to ease pain and induce sleep, but the difference between dose and death was terrifyingly small. Hallucinations, delirium, and paralysis were common side effects. Some even believed it granted visions or magical abilities. Whether used in love potions or assassination plots, belladonna lived up to its name, a drug that could just as easily kill as it could captivate. 6. Thorn apple, Datura, the madness, herb. Datura, also called thorn apple, was one of the most feared plants in medieval herb lore. Its seeds and leaves were used in potions and poultices, but only by those bold or desperate enough to risk it. A small dose might relieve asthma or pain. A bit more? Total insanity. Users reported vivid hallucinations, confusion, and out-of-body experiences that could last for days. Some never recovered their minds. Witches and sorcerers allegedly used it for dark rituals and flying ointments. Datura didn't just alter reality, it tore it apart, leaving many lost in the grip of chemically induced madness. 7. Cannabis, the monastic medicine. Yes, cannabis had a place in medieval Europe mainly as hemp for rope and textiles, but its medicinal uses weren't ignored. Monks and apothecaries used it in tinctures to ease pain, inflammation, and even seizures. Unlike other medieval drugs, cannabis was relatively safe, with mild psychoactive effects. Some mystics even used it to enter meditative trances. However, it wasn't widely trusted. Anything that altered the mind was suspect, possibly heretical. Still, for those who knew its power, cannabis was a gentle healer in a brutal world, a rare medieval drug that soothed without poisoning the soul. 8. Hemlock, the executioner's brew. Most famous for killing Socrates, hemlock was well known in medieval times not for healing, but for ending. Sometimes mistaken for parsley, it was a favorite of assassins and executioners. In small doses, it numbed pain and quieted coughs. In larger doses, it paralyzed the body, eventually stopping the lungs. Physicians occasionally used it to dull terminal pain, but one mistake meant death. Its use was more feared than respected, a grim reminder that nature's medicine cabinet was also its arsenal. Hemlock didn't just stop pain, it stopped everything, permanently. 9. Alcohol. The everyday elixir, alcohol was one of the most common medicines of the medieval world. Beer and wine weren't just for pleasure, they were safer to drink than water, and often spiked with herbs to treat illnesses. Monks brewed potent tonics infused with wormwood, rosemary, or myrrh to fight infections and calm nerves. Stronger spirits like mead or aqua vitae, water of life, were seen as healing elixirs. But as always, moderation was rare. Overuse led to addiction, violence, and ruined lives. Still, in a world filled with disease and suffering, alcohol offered a rare comfort, warm, numbing, and dangerously welcome. 10. Sulfur and Mercury, alchemical cures. In the search for eternal life and universal cures, medieval alchemists turned to mercury and sulfur, toxic substances believed to balance the body's mystical humors. Mercury was applied to wounds or ingested to treat syphilis, while sulfur fumes were inhaled to purify the spirit. The results? Horrific. Mercury poisoned the brain, causing tremors and madness. Sulfur scorched lungs and skin. Still, these medicines were backed by serious scholars who believed they were on the brink of miracles. Ironically, the quest to cure death often brought it faster. Alchemy didn't just promise transformation, it often delivered it in the worst way. And there you have it, 10 of the most extreme, bizarre, and downright dangerous drugs from medieval times. From screaming roots to deadly poisons, the line between medicine and madness was razor thin. I'm curious, where in the world are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments below. I'd love to see how far this twisted history reaches. Thanks for watching, and remember, don't try any of these at home. Seriously.